So this is just my suggestion to get some structure and to allow you to systematically work towards the solution. Sometimes it's a little confusing, so you don't want to just randomly scribble stuff. Chances are you might not get to the answer. Yes?
When we're solving, like, for example, I just did question 2, you want us to do the formula as well to kind of prove how we found it?
The formula is completely optional.
So if we just write in the numbers in a Venn diagram, and
So,
it makes sense?
yes, the Venn diagram is, for almost all of these, the Venn diagram, if you want to not do any formulas, that is my motivation. So it's important that the Venn diagram is clear, that it's easy to read, because this is what supports my calculation, essentially.
So we don't actually have to put down how we came to getting certain numbers as long as it's in a Venn diagram that makes sense?
Yeah, the Venn diagram is sufficient. Yeah.
So was it only place numbers within the region as it's by itself?
If the number represents a single region, I'll put the number in the Venn diagram. If it represents more than one region combined, then I'll just write it somewhere else. Otherwise, I'm going to forget which number represents what. It's going to get confusing. So let's do number 2. Number 2 is the straightforward question with 3 sets. That's a good place to start. Let's read it first and see. It's so long, by the time I get to the end, I forgot what's in the beginning. An elementary school is offering 3 language classes, one in Spanish, one in French, one in German. These classes are open to any of the 100 students in the school. There are 28 students in Spanish, 26 in French, 16 in German. There are 12 students that are in both Spanish and French, 4 that are in both Spanish and German, 6 that are in both French and German, and to scratch out that in addition. It just means also some more information. There are 3 students taking all 3 classes. So it's just too much. Too much. And something's going to get lost. So I want to follow these steps to get all the information out, be sure what I'm looking for, and then I can easily find it, hopefully. So how many sets do I need? Clearly I have 3 language classes, so I want to find 3 sets. So what do you want to call Spanish? S. Oh, A. I think the majority wanted S, so let's go with S. Let S represent, doesn't matter, there's many ways to write this. I just want a sentence or something close to a sentence saying this is what my S means. Let S represent the set of students that, let's just say in Spanish. Now, I know that I'm uptight about this little mark that I reserved for this in a question. If you say S equals Spanish, it's not correct. S doesn't represent a language. S represents the set, the collection of students that are in that language class. There's more than enough time in these tests or quizzes or whatever we're doing. There is really no reason why we can't write a nice sentence. Once I have one sentence, sure, I can abbreviate the rest if you want. Let's say, I'm going to guess F for French. Let F represent the set of students in French. And one more. I guess G for German makes the most sense. Let that represent the set of students, oops, that's an S, in German. In the German class. Just some sort of sentence. Just makes it easier to read. I know you know what you're doing, and everyone is happy. Now, let's put our Venn diagram on the right here so I can make it nice and big. Because with 3 sets, we have a lot of overlapping regions, so I want to make it big. So everyone can see. So 3 sets in general. I don't know much about these sets yet, so I have to include all the possible overlapping regions: Spanish, French, and German. This eraser is terrible. Not much I can do. Now I want to get all the information out, either put it in my Venn diagram or alongside it or something, so that it doesn't get lost in the paragraph. Let's just start at the top and see. Okay, I have 100 students in the school. What's that? Let's put that in. Well, universal set I can sort of cheat because that's a rectangle. I can put a little 100 there. Why not? That's okay. There's no confusion there. Just everything. It's 100. 28 students in Spanish. Well, Spanish is made up out of 4 different sections, so I can't put that in. So I'll put that separate, 28. 26 in French, same problem, so I'll do it separate, so that it is outside my paragraph, and I have it, and I know I can work with it. 16 in German. Then I have 12 students in both Spanish and French. So that's the overlap of Spanish and French, but that's made up out of 2 sections, so I'll keep that separate as well. That is an intersection and 12. So this is just for me to keep track of what I have. 4 in both Spanish and German. Six in French and German. And then 3 taking all 3 language classes. Can I put the 3 in?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. 3 I can put in. Now I can sort of look at this again. Does that 3 now allow me to put more in?
Yes.
And I only stop when I can't put in anything else. So what can I put in? Working sort of backwards, I guess. French and German is 6. So this has to be 3 as well. And I've essentially used this piece of information. Everyone happy with that? It's just going to make the final answering step easier if I have as much as I can in the Venn diagram. Then Spanish and German is 4, so this has to be 1. 1 student in this section. So I've used this. Spanish and French, 12, so this little piece has to be 9. So you start getting the hang of it now. German in total is 16, and I have 1, 4, 7 already. So it looks like this has to be 9 as well. French in total is 26. What do I have so far in my Venn diagram? 12, 15, 11. You have to check my arithmetic. 11. Spanish in total is 28. I have 13 so far, so it seems like a 15. Is there anything else that I can put in this sketch? Now, it's not the end of the world if you don't put in absolutely everything. But the more you put in, if possible, the easier the next step is going to be.
None? Students that took nothing?
Sorry?
Students that didn't take any of them?
There are some students outside, out here, still in the rectangle, people in the school, but they're not taking any language classes. They were like me. Language, no. How many are in here? This outside. Okay, somebody actually give me a number.
49.
49? Let's put the 49 over here. By adding up all these numbers, I get all this inside the circle. Everyone taking some language class. Maybe more, maybe just one, maybe all three. These people out here are not taking any language classes. So I can put that in here. Now I think I have everything, so that's as far as I can go. Now let's look at what they're asking. So notice that I haven't even looked at the question. I haven't even looked at what they're actually looking for. I'm just setting myself up to have it be as easy as possible by having all the information in front of me. Nothing's hidden in any paragraph. Now I can go to A and say, okay, what are they looking for? How many students are taking one or more language classes? Now, whether you realize it's a union or an intersection or whatever, it's much more important to identify what am I looking for, which regions am I looking for when they want or when I want. Everyone that's taking one or more language classes. Which region is that? This one? This one? I don't want to shade it in because we have a B and a C as well. If that was the only question, I would just color everything in that we're looking for. What am I looking for? One or more language classes. Sorry? That wasn't my question. My question was, which regions am I looking for? That's all of them. That's all I'm looking for. The first step, before looking at any numbers, find the region that I'm looking for. In this case, all of this. Then when I have the region, then I can go and find the 51. Let's get that step. In this case, yes, it's obvious. But it's not always obvious. So let's just say here, number of students that the question is asking for equals, let me write it out here for the sake of being complete. I just add up all these numbers in the regions. What do I get? You say 51. I've already done all that work, really. So the straightforward question is the one where I can fill in everything on the Venn diagram. Then answering the question is really just going through the motions at this point. 51. So let's say here, so there, not there. So 51 students are taking one or more language classes. So a little sentence just tying everything together is just a good habit to get into. Just makes everything easier. It makes it easier for you. Now you're clear. This is my answer. It makes it easier for me. Now I know, okay, this is your answer. Much easier for Mark. Number D. How many students are not taking any language classes? How are we with that? 49. You can say number of students. So we already did all the hard work. You can say 49, you can say it's 100 minus the 51 gives me 49. By the way, 49. So 49 students are not taking any language classes. One more, I'm going to erase the top one because I'm running out of space. And I'll use C at the top. How many students are in exactly one language class? So I read the question, my next step is identify the region or regions that I'm looking for, and then figure out the number. Cillian seems, notice, making it nice and simple steps will help me a lot when things get more complicated. Which regions am I looking for when they're asking for the students that are in exactly one language class? Now this is our last question, so I can shade it in. Which ones should I shade? She says this one, the 11 one, and which one? 9? I know, I'm just playing. Everyone happy with that? Can't be this one, because then this guy takes 2 language classes. I'm looking for exactly 1 language class. So the number of students that they're looking for, 15 plus 11 plus 9, giving me, what is this, 26, 37? Little sentence, so 30.
35.
Why not 37?
Well, could be.
I was just checking if you're awake. Don't cross my arithmetic. Worst idea ever. So 35 students take exactly 1 language class. So I think reasonably simple and straightforward question in terms of the information that's given, but we start with that to get used to the steps involved. So that when things get more complicated, I'm ready to apply that systematic way of thinking that we're focusing on. Okay, we have one more example to do, number 3. So let's read number 3 together. A certain school has 200 students. Of these students, 90 are enrolled in a psychology course, 100 in an engineering course, while 70 are enrolled in an economics course. Exactly 30 students are enrolled in both a psychology and an economics course, while 20 are enrolled in courses from all 3 subjects. Lastly, 50 out of the 200 students are enrolled only in engineering. Determine the number of students enrolled in something. So let's start. Step 1 is let's get the names of our sets together. So let's say I have 3 sets. One is psychology, one is engineering, and one is economics. So let's say P for psychology. Let P represent the set of students in psychology and let's say both engineering and economics starts with an E, so let's say N for engineering, N the set of students in engineering, and let's say C the set of students in economics. So we have the names of our sets. So let's get our Venn diagram with the three sets in general position. Let's give them the names. This is the psychology one, this is engineering, and this is economics, and this, of course, is my universal set in the rectangle. So now I want to know what information are they giving me? What can I put on the Venn diagram? Get all the information out of the paragraph, and then we see what we have to work with, what do they want, and how can I get there. So a certain school has 200 students. Now there's a slight catch. Of these students, 90 are enrolled in psychology. I can't put that in. Don't be caught out by putting in the 90 here. I only put in the number if it represents a single region. So I'll write the 90 over here somewhere. 90. 100 in engineering. Well, I can't put that in either. So I'll put in 100 there. Just get it out of the paragraph. 70 are enrolled in economics. So economics is a C. 70 for economics. 30 students are enrolled in both psychology and economics. Now psychology and economics, that's both of these, so I can't put that in. It consists of two sections, so I'll write it separately, just get it out of the paragraph. Psychology and economics, that's how many? 30. And lastly, the extra bit of information they give me, 50 out of the 200 students are enrolled only in engineering. 50 out of the 200 are enrolled only in engineering. That I can put in. That's over here. Only engineering. I missed one. 20 are enrolled in courses from all three subjects. That I can put in as well. 20 are enrolled in courses from all three subjects. So some things I can put in right away. Some things I have to write on the side. I only put in the number if it represents a single region, so I don't get confused at any point. Now I can look back and I put in more on the sketch as much as I can, make it as simple as I can. Yes, well, P intersection C is 30. That consisted of these two parts. Now I have this one, so I can't put in a 10 there, and I've used this. I can't put in any of these, or I can't use them because they have multiple regions. But by getting everything out of the paragraph, either in the Venn diagram or alongside it, now I can look at what is being asked and how can I proceed to find it. What are they looking for? Determine the number of students that are enrolled in at least two of the three. So now let's shade in the regions that we're looking for. At least two of the three subjects. At least two of the three subjects. Which regions will that be? Not this one, because that's just economics. Not this one, that's just engineering. Not this one, that's just psychology. But these ones, this guy over here, it's psychology and economics, not engineering. Psychology and engineering, this is all three. So I'm looking for all of these. All of these middle sections. That's what I'm looking for. at least 2 of the 3 subjects. At least means 2 or more. At least 2 or more. So 2, this piece, and this piece, or 3, this piece in the middle. Now I look at my region, I look at what's being given, how can I use that to find what I'm being given? I have some of the numbers, I don't have these 2 regions. Now, this is why I say don't be caught out. Don't fall into the trap of thinking I need to find every region individually, and to find my final answer, I add them up at the end. The previous question was the straightforward one where I'm able to find every region individually and then add up selections of them to give me my answer. In this case, they give me information very specific, very selective information in such a way that I'm not able to find what is this piece on its own. I can't find that. What is this piece on its own? I don't have enough information to find that necessarily. But the reason I put in this question is that's not the question. The question isn't find these individually, add them up and give me the answer. The question is only what is the total of this shaded region? However you get there is your issue. It doesn't matter. Nothing says I have to find these numbers individually. So why would we try? All I need is to find this as one total. So my strategy is going to be, let's just separate this little section over here from this piece over here. Let me try to duplicate them over here. I have this over here, like this, and then I have this little pointy bit over here. That's 10. I'm going to find all of this in one go. What is that? In one go. Then my final answer is going to be this plus this together. That makes up my region that I'm looking for. And I can then find the total without ever worrying about these 2 pieces individually. Now, how can I find this if this is part of the whole engineering circle? The whole engineering circle is 100. So let's make this the double question mark, shaded region. Double question mark is what? All of engineering is 100. Take away this piece that's outside of what I'm interested in, the 50 gives me that double question mark section is 50. So the number of students that they're looking for, the number of students, let's make this a sentence right away from the end, just right to the end. The number of students that take courses from at least 2 of the 3 subjects, number of students in at least 2 of the 3 subjects, 2 of the 3 subjects is 10 plus 50. 10 plus 50. 10 plus 50. In other words, 60. So when the question becomes more complicated, they give me information in a specific way that I'm not able to just find every region I'm looking for and add them all up. I have enough information to find the number in the total region. Not necessarily every little piece, but that's not the question either. The question is, how many students in this whole region? Split it up into 2 pieces. I have this piece, so I don't need to worry about that. That's 10. I can keep that separate. This piece I need to do is 1, based on the information that I'm given. So don't fall into the trap. Look at the question. Look at what's being given. Look at what I'm trying to find, and use the information to try and find that. Don't assume that they're asking something that they're not. So, just as an end note, the homework questions we're able to do at this point homework questions after today. I said last time we can do numbers 1 to 3. Now we can do numbers 4 to... Let me write them as a list. 4, 5, and 6. 4 is underlined, 6 is underlined, which means I have to submit those. Of this group, I have to submit 4 and 6 for marks. So have a look at these. Look at the examples that we did today. Look at the strategies, the steps, the way of thinking systematically, and use that on these homework questions. Thank you.